Hi, guys.
And what number lecture is this? Now we know somebody missed it. 8th lecture, 1 October, 1968, AD 18. The substance of these lectures should not, of course, be delivered with total ferocity, because up the line someplace, the St. Hill course will teach its teachings, and academies will teach theirs, and somebody will pay attention to the information which is contained on there. And someday in the future, the Class 8 course will contain auditors who can audit. And that would be very nice. Now, it may not occur to somebody that I am telling you facts. I am not telling you my ideas. Because I say it is true is no reason it's true. Because I'm telling you what it is because it is true. Anybody who has an opinion that differs with Ron, anybody in the world can have an opinion that differs with mine. But you see, I'm not telling you opinions. Now, when I give you the data of Scientology and the unraveling of the problems of the mind, I am not giving you my opinions. I'm giving you facts. And they don't compare with your opinions. Your opinions haven't got anything to do with it, and my opinions don't have anything to do with it. You understand me? Out-tech normally stems from some kook who gets an opinion. And he thinks freedom of think has something to do with truth. He can think all he pleases, he can have all the opinions in the world, but when he goes into an org and indulges in one of these god-damned opinions that throws tech out, shooting is too good for him. These are the facts. This is the hot dope. They're not based on my opinion. I might have entirely different opinions, and often have had.
Hi, Style.
But I have enough self-discipline not to pass them on to you. There's a lot of things I could believe in. Lots. For instance, there are things that I would like to be doing that are, oh my God. When I look at some of these politicos, the worst valences I've ever been
You'll like this one, Style.
with rise to the fore.
Bombshell in 30 seconds. It's facts.
But I don't allow that to color the job. I have a job to do. You have a job to do. I'm going to let you in on something.
There's a secret.
I didn't even get R6. I'm not from this planet. Now,
He's not from the. It's facts.
if
I'm
I
not
can
from
take
this
it on
planet.
that it'd be a very good thing to clean up this planet. You who were here can damn well share the responsibility and not say it's all up to Ron. That's an interesting thought, isn't it?
Oh, so funny. Let's see what this next one is. Oh, yeah. Let's play this one.
You can get a hold of him. You'll find almost any free clear can be given creative processing. and you could get a hold of him and flip the key to your car. That's interesting, isn't it? In other words, you can take them out as fast as they lay them down. Therefore, we really do have the remedy before the assault weapon is produced. Did you ever read poor old George Orwell's 1984? Yes, that's wonderful. That could be the palest imagined shadow of what a world would be like under the rule of the secret use of Scientology with no remedy in existence.
You're a freaking idiot.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation.
Top story.
Oh, let's see. Oh, this. Gosh. Oh, this is pretty fun. So this is in
It is
2018.
probably safest to assume that until this is all properly regulated, anyone you see promoting a product is probably being paid for it and potentially a lot of money. And that may well affect how much you then trust that person going forward. And just to be clear, I have never accepted compensation for anything on this show. But having seen how much money is involved here, we've actually been doing something all year long that surprisingly no one has noticed. And frankly, it is now payoff time. Because I've been quietly engaging in
This is
advertising
November.
so undisclosed, even the advertiser doesn't know
So
about
for
it.
11
I'm talking
months.
about the Church of Scientology. Without their
They've
knowledge
been
or
from.
permission, I've been plugging them influencer style since February. Sometimes it's been subtle. In our show on
February.
Guardianship, we snuck a Scientology symbol into this logo of a federal agency we invented. And back in May, when I was packing the show up, one of the items was the book Dianetics. Then there was the time that we put L. Ron Hubbard's name on screen for no good reason whatsoever. In fact, for half the year, the Scientology Celebrity Centre has been one of the buildings in our backdrop. Incidentally, Dragonstone, one of the castles from Game of Thrones, is back there too. But that's been there since the start of the show. Which building has contained more torture and cruelty? It's genuinely hard to say. And honestly, there is stuff that I expected someone to notice. I've repeatedly mentioned prominent Scientologists and then vigorously defended them. I don't blame him for anything there. He's got a good head on his shoulders. You stay clear, Tommy. Stay clear, my boy. If somebody approaches you, don't tell them you're being paid. Which are, and this is true, word for word, the vows in a traditional Scientology wedding. Now, it's beautiful. They're beautiful vows, and you should go. That is the type of crowd reaction that you'd expect to hear if the WWE Championship was suddenly won by Beck, which is totally plausible, by the way. The guy's a Scientologist, and they give you superpowers. It's not just a religion. It's a set of principles to help you understand and improve your life, and maybe fly. Just look into it. That's all I'm compelling you sincerely. That was a bit weird, right? Did you not think that was weird? And I know you might be thinking, well, come on, John, that really wasn't obvious enough. To be really obvious, you'd have to stand next to a volcano like the one on the cover of Dianetics and mention Lord Xenu. Well, may I remind you, back on our second show, how our Italian election piece ended. That's our show. Xenu next week. Good night. Xenu next week? Xenu next week. We thought the game would be up then. We honestly thought we'd gone too hard too early. And that's only some of them. We've been doing this shit all year. And now it is time to collect. So to the head of Scientology, David Miscavige. First, love to show you. Second, you owe me. I've looked into this, and apparently Rock the Dwayne Johnson makes around $650,000 for a sponsored post, and I'm worth one Rock post at least. So I will take $650,000 now, please. I know you have the money. John Travolta probably gave you a lot of his. And if you, Scientology, are going to tell me that's ridiculous, you can't pretend you conferred some unprovable benefit on us, then shake us down for huge amounts of money just because of your tenuous proximity to show business. Let me just say, you're being a real SP about this shit, and the price just went up to $700,000. That is our show. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week. Good night. it is probably safest to assume that until
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Oh. Let's do this one.
Like, yeah, we now totally know what we have to do. And then just a total rehash for them. And gave them actually tools. It was very real because these are the ones that did it. So, you know, somebody would stand up and say something that was just like whatever, and one of the OT ambassadors would go, yeah, that's exactly right. And you have to confront it and handle it. And it was like, okay, I get it. You know? There's no way around like doing the work, you know. So that was very successful. And then there was the Dissemination
Of
Center
course, Kyle.
Story, who's the Ideal Org Programs Director, CMO Int. Had over 200 attendees. She took them through the Ideal Org systems and Div 6 information displays. Everything that the org has now being ideal, and the Div 6 phase obviously very much concentrated on. And then Jeff Pomeranz in an FSM rally. That is the original t-shirt that he wore at the... And that is actually, and he said this, and says, you know why the volunteer minister t-shirt is black letters on yellow? And he says, no matter what, like, no matter what anybody said, when he was being interviewed by the press, it didn't matter what anybody said, everybody was seeing the t-shirt that says Scientology works. So even on the news, the TV, everything, it was like Scientology works, and that message got out from him. He was very proud of that shirt. So it was awesome. And at the end of the night, Michael Duff did a concert, and he performed "We Stand Tall," and everybody obviously sang with him. So there you go. Now the other thing I brought to show you is there's a brochure about Portland. This gets put out with every Ideal Org. They all get a brochure. It actually shows the inside of the building. It's very nice. The public are able to pick it up. It's all over the org after the opening. But the other thing was done for Portland specifically, very, very special, is a brochure called Winning, the Legacy of the Portland Religious Freedom Crusade. And in it, it has, it says, throughout mankind's history, every great movement has been attacked. Time and again, those who would free man were opposed by those who strived to enslave him. For Scientology, our most trying days came in the early 1980s, and we met our test of fire in Portland, Oregon in the spring of 1985. And it gives actually the summary of the whole thing with photos and a reenactment of what occurred. And then it has the whole winning LRHED here as well, with LRH's photo in it. And then in the back, the Battle of Portland song. So everybody got a copy of it. Isn't that cool? Yeah. So that was done obviously because Portland's very special work. Now, the Portland Crusade was our first victory as the IS. Did you know that? Yeah. Yeah. It was our first foothold. We have many, many more victories that we have to win. And we have to move those victories forward and get them won so we actually move toward a cleared planet. We don't really have a choice on that. And we're going to keep doing these battles. Like,
We'll have a choice.
It was pretty overt. The battles we're fighting now are maybe not quite so overt, but they're definitely battles nevertheless. Like the battle to get people off drugs, to get them educated, to not get them in a position where they're not able to get up the bridge. Which
We're all
is the battle
hopeless.
we're fighting, and that's what the IS is all about. So we're entering the summer IS period that ends on 20 June. And what we are funding is of major strategic importance, which you're going to hear more about tonight. PAC's portion of what we need to raise is $3.5 million, and it breaks down as follows, and these quotas are to be met. AOL 850,000, Asher Day 700,000, ASHUF 500,000, and CC International 1.25 million. So now, to give you the inside briefing, please welcome the Grand Top ISA.
Oh, stand up.
We didn't get really unreasonable about in the org people who have not gotten their materials, because the suits have these people all sitting in their courses. And they're saying, oh, this guy's not qualified, or I get back to ask him one more time for another $100. everybody has money or access to it. I wish you could see these people saving. I know that they're crying to you, and every new reg falls for the act. I remember when I was as a new reg, I was regging someone for power, and the lady said, you know,
How to reg someone.
They just cried,
Hi, Irish.
and I gave my hard-earned money to them. Right? Because I didn't know that people say they don't have money when they do. I didn't know that. Right? But we're going to have to show you and prove it to you because I know you don't believe it. So here's what we're going to do. The suits, just bring your person. I don't care if rich, poor, we don't care. You got to sit there, though. You've got to sit there while we go online and look up all their credit cards so we can show them to you. So you can see that your people definitely have money.
No.
They just don't consider they do.
Credit cards are not your money.
When we get done, they're like surprised. Sometimes they don't have it. Like we have, he had, what's his name? I didn't go through all his credit cards. You just go online and he really didn't have it. But he's OTA and he doesn't care. He had 3,700. Excuse me. I don't want to say he didn't have any, which I consider that not much money. Now maybe you consider it a lot. So we're going to handle that. Oh, the other thing is that you guys have to do is the call center is not the org. When you're in the call center,
There's that call center.
David, it is
Oh.
time to submit and surrender to the proper authority.
Hold on.
And no one will be injured.
That's about the Waco siege that I totally stumbled upon from an interview. So it's power wash. I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, the call center is not the org. So when they're at the call center, remember how they have to keep calling for donations and everything and have to put in more time? Twyla, did you say they were at a Theosophical Society function? I didn't. I don't know anything. But I don't know who you're asking, Twyla. Maybe Style? Oh, okay. Yes. It was Style. But the Waco siege was on a different cult leader, and a lot of people died. The government intervened on that one. Let's see. Else. I don't want to play too much Hubbard because I can only take so much. Literally from him. But he's not from this planet. I'll tell you the truth. Oh, it's a fail. Where did that one go? Oh, here it is.
Okay, so we're here at the grand opening. This is the luncheon before it. It's just me. They're parking the cars. We're going to have a few people here to pick it. This is the Los Angeles supposed Church of Scientology. Not really a church, really a fraudulent business, pretending to be a church. And these are the people they've bussed in or conned to fly in.
Irish,
To be
you
at
wine?
the big event. But old Davy Boy's going to be at. And And they've renovated. This is the old, you can see there.
Irish Rewind. I played one of his lectures, a piece of it, and he actually says he is not from this planet. So I'm just, and it's fact. Fact.
They have a new sign for LA Org. Hello.
It's closed right now.
Pardon me?
The sidewalk is closed right now.
The
sidewalk is closed right now.
Well, it's a public sidewalk.
We have an event going on. It's closed right now.
Well, that guy just walked down the street, and the other guys did the other way. So it looks like
Hi,
there's
Laura.
something for them.
We're gonna have to
You
close.
can't discriminate, man.
You're absolutely right. They shouldn't have. Honestly, they shouldn't have.
Well, they just did, and the other guy did.
Totally understand. So I will.
So-
I need to ask you to leave, please.
All right, and what is your name?
Doesn't matter. Come on.
Matters to me.
Okay, good. Come on.
Can we please, we have approval from the city, we've
I
gotten
love-
the signs from the
I
city.
love-
So where's the legal limits? So I have.
On each side of this sidewalk. This sidewalk on this block has been closed off by the city.
Okay, so across the street we're okay.
Yes,
All right. Have a nice event.
thank you.
So you're having luncheon now, right?
That is correct.
And here comes some people getting out of cars. Here we go. Hello.
Hi.
They warned me. Don't worry about it.
I just want you to make sure you go over right here.
Yes, sir.
Our
I'm
new
going.
handler.
And not because you said so.
Hi, Professor.
I can also go across the street too, right?
No, you're not supposed to cross the street. That's our property right there. You have to cross here.
The
But I'll take you
Kaisers.
over there.
Alrighty. Take me
No,
over.
not that way. This way.
Why not this
I
way?
would have
Because
told
that's
Tori
closed.
to go
That's our-
stand
that's our
in the
property.
Kaiser parking
Do you
lot.
have a permit that shows that?
I don't have the permit. I'll get the guy up here, but
All right.
until then.
Get him up here. How you doing?
Oh, being handled.
So naturally, Scientology, even though they say they believe in communication, they can't ever stand other people that have any other viewpoints than their own. Which is why I call it the Truman Show. It's the Scientology Truman Show, because if you're not in the show, you can't be there. And why you're there, I don't know. How long have you been in Scientology?
Long time, honey.
Yeah, I know, me too. Where's the parking?
Turn around and talk to that
You'd
woman.
be smarter to just keep driving, man. It's a total con.
Yes, this was.
And
This
that
was
is why they don't want me here. Don't waste your money.
This was the refurbishing of the LA org, the org, and it was the opening in 2014. And of course, she was out there, and a couple other people joined her, but she was the first one to get there. Let me rewind it because.
Because if you're not in the show, you can't be there. And why you're there, I don't know. How long have you been in Scientology?
Long time, honey.
Yeah, I know, me too. Where's the parking?
Turn around and talk to that woman.
You'd be smarter to just keep driving, man. It's a total con. And that is why they don't want me here. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your life.
Keep driving.
There's some other places.
If it was free, you wouldn't have to keep paying for it. You know that. You know that. They've changed the tech. They changed the FNs. That's bullshit. I'm telling you, I call it like it is when it comes to changing the tech. That's a bunch of bullshit. And the fact that you've been in there for years and you back up Miscavige's changing the definition of FN alone. And you smile at that? That's cute?
I'm not smiling.
You are smiling.
I'm not smiling. The sun is in my eyes. I'm
Started
grimacing.
smiling.
Okay,
I love how
whatever.
she's handling
You
the
should
handler.
smile more. It's healthy. But you shouldn't smile about FN. You should fight to change it back. The original tech. What do you think Hubbard would say? Do you think he'd back up Miscavige, changing the definition of FN to 3 times? You have to know if you've had any auditing what bullshit it is. Don't plug your ears. Free speech,
Do you have
right.
a copy of the thing? Tori wants to see it. I just moved her off.
I moved
But he's
on.
coming.
Good. So, what do you think? You know, when you get auditing, don't you understand when they're remember, you know, don't wait for the meter to, are you waiting for the meter to play Dixie? Do you remember that? Yes or no?
I read it.
You've been in a long time, you know that policy.
I read that policy.
Yeah, I know it. It's not a policy. It's a bulletin, and you're
Okay,
altering
but
exactly.
There's a
what it
policy
says.
and bulletin.
I'm not
Thank
altering
you.
Oh
it.
yeah, you are.
What
Otherwise,
how
pull
am
it
I
out.
altering it? Tell me to the truth.
Pull it out, and
You
we'll,
tell me.
and we'll see exactly what it says.
And I was drilled and trained on it. I'm a grad 5 auditor. I'm a SAC checker. I don't know
Yeah,
that
but I don't know what
means.
that means.
You have out ethics for backing up this bullshit. And you are PTS the Miscavige. And that's a fact. And the fact that you can't communicate with me proves it even more. You're out ARC and out manners. I know my shit. All right, so I'm gonna plop up against this tree, and here's this.
I want to just go right over to the Kaiser.
Let me make sure to get a good picture of her. Hang on. Sorry if my camera's wobbly, but I'm holding, as you can see, wait, I'll show you. I'm holding my sign, me, the tree's helping me, and, oh yeah, I gotta put my sock away. This is my fancy,
I guess because it was part of the
camera holder.
auditing.
okay. These are the key reasons that I speak out against Scientology. Number one, they break up families. See my sign? Stop hurting families, Scientology. And you do break up families. Number two, they declare people suppressive, which is a part of breaking up families. Number three, for me, is medical abuse, because they do discourage any kind of medicine except for a little bit, but most major medicines, they declare, I fought them for 30 years on taking medicine for epilepsy. Number four, they stop free speech on the internet and as much as they can. You saw the guy just earlier. He can't talk to me. That's not Scientology that I got into in '69. They were very open and free. Look at them. They look like Amway. That's how Amway is. And sorry for any Amway dealers, but that's how you guys look too. They do stop free speech. They also do fair game, which is where L. Ron Hubbard said you can lie, cheat, steal, destroy someone utterly. They rope in young kids to billion-year contracts, as we saw the other night in my earlier video. And it's a giant fraud. It basically is. People are giving their money, their time, their lives for what? And they've changed the tech. Miscavige has a bunch, which whether you like the tech or not, Hubbard, who is the guy who started Scientology, said you cannot change any of it unless he does. Miscavige has changed a ton now, and not for the better, for the worse. And thus, they're losing people daily, which is good for us, bad for them. So we're here picketing, and my friends are parking the car, and then they'll be here. So there you go. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
You're requesting to see the permit?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what does the permit say?
Well, if you would like to read it, you can go ahead and do so.
I love this part.
Well, they said the whole sidewalk, but then I saw people walking across the sidewalk.
The sidewalk on the south side of the street is closed from right there on L. Ron Hubbard going down to the next street, which is titled. Well, go ahead and if you'd like to flip through it, go ahead. Here you go.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You still didn't show me where it is, though.
I know. Well, you can go ahead.
But you know what? I work and I pay taxes, and that's your job. Okay. You're the one saying I can't.
I didn't say anything to the sort.
You said here. Well, you didn't do it, did you? Have you showed me?
I'm showing you the permit.
I'm showing you where it says. Okay. I'm asking you to show me where it says that.
There you go, man.
All right, where?
Read.
Okay, which part though? That's what I'm asking you.
Okay, do you need me to read it to you? You can't read?
Please, I can read, but I want you to read it to me.
All vehicles must be parked legally, must maintain 5 feet clearance of sidewalk and walkways, Maintain local emergency access. No cast or crew parking on area streets. Number of uniformed officers are listed in the permit is a minimum requirement. Permit remains responsible for safety of the film crew and the public. Traffic controls must be done in accordance with MUDCD. Traffic officers required. Uniform officers shall have a copy of the filmer permit in their possession and required to confirm all the traffic control signage devices are in place.
Okay, so I don't see where that says that sidewalk.
Have I stopped?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, if you don't want me to continue.
No, we don't have to read the whole thing. I'm just asking about that sidewalk.
Okay.
Sunset Boulevard.
Fountain Avenue, closures, sidewalk. Okay, it has the time 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. on the next day through the 9th. Okay, sunset.
Okay, so the cop and I ended up good. And here you can see they've moved most of the luncheon that was in the parking lot. They've now moved over to L. Ron Hubbard Way because of me, John, Drew, and now the Pope arrived. So they've got to scamper everybody out of the view where they could see our signs. So there you go. That's the update.
The Pope has arrived.
Okay, so remember, David Miscavige said there's going to be 10,000 people at this opening. You can see how many people. It may be a couple hundred. Of course, they've got the bushes blocking the thousands that are really, that's about a little bit in one side of AOLA down to Fountain. So you can't fit 10,000 people in there. A couple hundred at the most. Yeah. So, there you go, that's the big grand opening. Okay, we're coming up to L. Ron Hubbard Pacifica Bridge. I'm going to try to show you.
Get better on the other side.
I know. I just want to get a bit of these guys. Hang on. Just 1 second. There's the Pacifica Bridge, which I think is their new ideal bullshit org. Here's a lady.
Oh, you're getting me. I was getting out of your way. You were getting me.
There you go. Are you a Scientologist?
Absolutely.
Ah, how long have you been one? And she's up. And he's here to block her. Don't ever talk to me. That would be scary, wouldn't it? How long have you been one?
Hey, can you leave her alone, please?
Why?
She doesn't want to talk to you.
She didn't say she didn't. You did.
Yeah.
Yes, I do not wish to speak to you, madame. Thank you.
Well, okay, thank you, madame. Whoa, Kurt.
Communication is the universal.
Yes, communication is the universal solvent.
I don't wish to speak to you.
Affinity, reality, and communication in demonstration today.
I know everything.
Yes, I know everything and you know nothing. All right, we're going around to the other side so we can hear Dave. Because this is pretty close. All right, we're just about, it's 2 o'clock and the 10,000 are supposed to be here. Looks like about 200. This guy right here won't talk to me about anything except taxes or something like that. But he doesn't want to talk about the changing of FN. Do you? Do you want to talk about the changing of FN? Now he doesn't want to talk because he's on camera.
Where's the dwarf?
Come on, man. You said you're going to talk, so now communication is the universal solvent per Scientology. But you guys demonstrate every day you can't communicate. And he already told me he won't talk to me. I'm the last person he'd want to talk to about tech when I asked him about the changing of the definition of FN. Senor. All right, well, we'll wait. Your handlings are epic fails.
Hi, Gary.
Here's Gary.
So, hey, Tori.
Hey, Gary. How you doing?
How do you like my raccoon eye?
I like it.
This guy punched me.
This guy said I'm the last person in the world he'd like to talk to regarding tech when I asked him about the changing of the definition of FN. That's it. That's all I asked.
Go talk to the lady in brown with the sunglasses on over here, Rosa. Rose. She's from Brazil. She has no data. No data. No data. No data.
They're all, but where are the 10,000 people?
No data.
This is data. There's no 10,000 people here.
She goes, no data. No data. No data.
know those bushes. They traveled to Chicago. Oh, so it wasn't. So they put up this sign. So that sign is in only in the shots for their website, but it doesn't say Pacifica Bridge at all. It's housing. All the pollution.
You should have told me, Timmy.
That we're going to.
There go the balloons. I don't even know if I can catch them.
You could literally go into the ocean.
Well, that was the shortest event ever.
And you're the Pope.
Fucking chicken shit, he wasn't even here.
Actually.
Yeah. Why? Don't shake your head. Why didn't he come? He was supposed to be here. They said he was going to be here.
So what was your part for 20 years?
Yeah, we now totally know what we have to do.
Okay. Wanted to show you this one. Because remember, she said she could
Well,
not
as we've
take
reported, a
the
memorial
medicine.
service for Jet Travolta will be held today. Since his death, there have been many questions about the Church of Scientology and what it teaches about treating illnesses. We're joined by Tommy Davis, a spokesman for the church. Tommy, good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, what are the biggest misconceptions you've heard in this last week about Scientology since this story?
Sure, yeah. I think really the biggest is really the thing you have to understand is Scientologists, like many people, like anybody, we go to doctors. If somebody's sick, some sort of physical ailment, we go to the doctor, you get a prescription, you know, whatever the course of treatment that would be recommended by a doctor, you're going to do that. And
Scientology
it's
doctor.
very important. It's not, I mean, really, it's actually something that's mandatory from the church's viewpoint. Someone has some sort of physical difficulty or problem, something's happening with them, they're ill, go to a doctor, get it checked out, find out what's going on. If it involves a prescription or whatever treatment the doctor recommends, they're going to do that.
What about psychiatric drugs?
Well, there's a difference. We're talking about a medical condition. When you have a medical condition and there's something happening with the body, there's some sort of illness going on, that's what...
But people think, you know, a medical condition can be a chemical imbalance, take antidepressants, but Scientology doesn't think that's a medical condition?
Well, I mean, that's not even a viewpoint as far as Scientologists are concerned. I mean, that's something that's really clear, you know, just even in the medical community. You have physical ailments, there's something wrong with the body, there's something happening. I mean, that can even involve, you know, malfunctions with the brain or these kinds of things, and those things are treated. Like seizures, for example, you're going to, you know, if there's an anti-seizure medication recommended by a doctor, you're going to do that.
Does the Church of Scientology acknowledge there is such a thing as autism?
You know, to the degree you have a medical condition, like there's something going on, like you know, seizures or some sort of physical problem.
He goes back to
with
seizures.
the body, you know, that's going to get treated by a doctor. But the church doesn't involve itself in diagnosing or classifying medical conditions. I mean, it's just not. We, you know, as a church, we deal with the spirit, and you know, in terms of bodies and the handling of physical problems, that's something, you know, for the medical community.
But will you acknowledge that autism does exist in the world? Not so much, you know, I'm not saying you'll diagnose it.
Sure.
But is there such a thing as autism in this world of Scientology?
I mean, yeah, I mean, to the degree that you have the medical community acknowledging that there is this thing called autism and that it requires treatment and doctors treat it and so on and so forth, yeah, absolutely. I think I would go the other way from it. There's this misconception or this thing that I've certainly seen that the church doesn't, quote unquote, recognize autism. It's just not true. It's not. We don't recognize or not recognize anything. I mean, we're a church, and if you're dealing with medical conditions, that's doctors. Doctors do that. We tell Scientologists, you have something going on physically, you have to go to a doctor. You have to get that properly treated.
Explain to me what the Church of Scientology believes will happen to Jet now, and what the belief is with his spirit, what happens to him, all that.
Yeah. Well, I think the best way to understand that is in Scientology, you, the individual, are an immortal spiritual being. In other words,
immortal or
immortal.
So
like
I
living
live forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spiritual being. Well, you don't. It's like you don't have a soul or a spirit. You are an immortal spiritual being. That is who you are. So you've lived before, you'll live again. You know, the concept of past lives, and it's really in the older, you know, Asian sense in terms of that, in terms of Buddhism or Hinduism. Yeah, different from reincarnation, because that gets into, you know, what you're going to come back as. I mean, it's really a much simpler process. You know, you inhabit a body, but you aren't your body. So as a spiritual being, you're gonna come back in a new body. You've had lives before. You'll have lives in the future.
Okay, so you believe Jet will come back. If he comes back in someone else's body, will it be someone that the Travoltas know? What's the belief there?
Oh, it would never be anything so specific. Really, the point is as a general rule, and this would apply to anybody. If you go back to that basic idea that the individual himself or herself is an immortal spiritual being, you're living lifetime after lifetime after lifetime.
But how do you pick up a body?
And that's your existence, you know, through time. So when the body dies, you would go and pick up a new body, really, to sort of put it in a simple
tons
sense.
out there.
And you know, whoever that may be.
And what is a Scientology funeral like?
It's pretty conventional in terms of what most people would be familiar with a funeral. You have a minister, you know, an ordained Scientology minister that would conduct, you know, the service, and often family or friends will talk and about the person who's passed away. You could have a eulogy, you know, these kinds of things.
Will you see a lot of people grieving and crying, or does that defeat the purpose of what you believe in, that they're not really dead?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you know, whenever anyone experiences a loss, I mean, it's a huge emotional loss for anyone to be gone. And to the degree, I mean, of course, there's solace in the concept that the person themselves and who they are as a person that you know is never gone. And so to that degree, in a Scientology funeral service, it's really a celebration of the person's life and acknowledging them for the life lived and wishing them well in their next. So it's really a celebration of their life.
But crying would
of course. I mean, anyone's going to grieve with that kind of loss, and anyone would. You know.
And finally, have you talked to the Travoltas, and how are they doing?
Well, yes, and they're doing great.
They're doing great.
You know, I think it's really, this is a time for them and their family and their friends, and you know, like anyone, you know, we would wish them well and
right.
Hope
So
that,
what would
you know,
the proper thing be to say? You know, we've all interviewed John Travolta. We love him. Like, do you say, "I'm so sorry for your loss," or like, what would be the appropriate thing to say? Like, he goes on? I don't know.
Sure. No, what you just said, of course. Yeah. For you know, for any Scientologist, it's really no different than anyone else in that, you know, anyone grieves the loss of a loved one or a friend, or you know, anyone
random
that they know.
bodies.
And
so it is a loss.
Sure, of course.
But
of course,
Jet will live on later in someone else's body, but we don't know who and when.
Yeah, I mean, to that degree, exactly. I mean, I think just from a simpler concept, it's simple like that, or like anybody else.
So
you know, you have your family and you have your loved ones, and to the degree that they're there with you, you know, that's a wonderful thing. And when they're gone and they're not around anymore, you know, that's a loss. But
you
know,
they're
I
not
think
gone.
as a general rule, people the world over
The body's gone.
you know, have the concept that we're spiritual beings and that we have a future, and there's life down the road, and there's more to look forward to no matter what. And we know, you know, that our loved ones are always with us in some way.
Tommy Davis, thank you for explaining a lot. I had a lot of questions.
Yeah, no problem, Julie.
Thanks for coming.
Real pleasure to meet you.
Same here.
You didn't. Go right back. Let's see. This one's about Canada. And then they were rated 10 years from that. Hollywood tour. I haven't seen that one. Let's see what the site.
I know that according to my research, L. Ron Hubbard, the father of Scientology, claimed that humans are immortal spiritual beings composed of body, mind, and spirit. But he also claimed that 75 million years ago, an evil galactic ruler named Xenu killed billions of his people by sending them to Earth in space planes. You can understand why some people might feel this is at best pretty unconventional, and I guess at worst just plain out there,
Now,
right?
I can understand that, certainly, Katie. That just has no basis in reality. This is one of those things that gets spread around, one of those old stories
So
that gets run
he never
around.
wrote about that?
No, not in those terms. There is an alteration and twisting of things.
I want to look ahead because...
Thank you for proving that Scientologists lie. Yes, Irish. They just lie for the greater good, but like the best explanation was how Julie Chen put the words back to him, said the words back to him, and he's like, in more simpler terms. And it's like, she said exactly what he said. Let's see. Buildings. Take that one. Lease and Soul, that's Canada. Let's see about this one.
From divine intervention to unholy terror.
Oh, this is
Discover
about
the mysteries of the world's greatest houses of worship on Church, Secrets, and Legends. Los Angeles, California is a city built on a prayer. A place people have long come to discover themselves or invent new identities. A testament to that guiding principle can be found right in the center of town, where a beautiful yet mysterious building stands. Possibly the most secretive landmark property in all of Hollywood. This 7-story Normandy-style castle was once a grand hotel filled with movie stars. Today, it still welcomes luminaries as the home of the Celebrity Center International, part of the Church of Scientology. This controversial religion counts among its members some of Hollywood's biggest stars. But critics argue that it's less concerned with the spiritual than the material.
It was all about money and power and fame and sex.
But it's also about activities that cross over into the criminal.
Not only did they steal government documents, they bugged these offices as well.
What compelled a burgeoning religious movement to break the law? And how did the church fall into the crosshairs of the FBI? Los Angeles, 1950. 39-year-old science fiction writer Lafayette Ronald Hubbard is living on penny-a-word stories published in pulp magazines. But his ambitions are much higher. Hubbard develops a self-help system to cure people of their fears and anxieties.
In his attempt to cash in on the burgeoning self-help movements, he wrote a book called Dianetics, which became his first massive bestseller.
Hubbard holds public demonstrations of a process called auditing, where people suffering from emotional or physical problems relive painful events from the past and are cleared of them.
In essence, auditing is hypnosis. The subject is supposed to go through various traumas and bad experiences that they've had in their lives.
Hubbard trains his auditors to use a device called an E-meter.
In essence, it's a lie detector. But at a certain point, when you've reached a level of peace with all your past traumas, your auditor will say to you, your needle is floating, that's a good sign. And they'll move on to the next trauma.
A flood of new converts starts signing up for treatments, and Hubbard realizes his dream.
There is a quote attributed to L. Ron Hubbard, to paraphrase, hey, if you want to make $1 million, start your own religion.
Hubbard's self-help program becomes the Church of Scientology, and the money starts flowing.
They will charge you to go through all your past lives. So it's set up to be an endless source of income for Scientology.
While converts are convinced of Scientology's authenticity, some see the church's core beliefs as Hubbard's wildest science fiction.
The story is that the galactic dictator Xenu wanted to solve the overpopulation problem of the galaxy and flew millions of beings to the planet Tigiak, which is now known as Earth, put them in volcanoes, detonated a hydrogen bomb, and now all of these decorporealized alien entities are on our bodies, and we need Scientology tech to get rid of these so-called body thetans.
Ridiculous sham or legitimate religion? Whatever the case, the United States government initially determines that Scientology is a charitable organization, giving the group tax-exempt status.
Hubbard really wanted this status so he could claim that Scientology was a religion and then hide behind the First Amendment protections awarded to religions and also become more attractive and palatable to the public that he was trying to recruit.
But in 1967, the IRS does an about-face and strips Scientology of its charitable status, finding its activities are commercial and directly benefiting Hubbard. To protect his new religion, Hubbard proposes one of the wildest operations ever aimed at the U.S. government.
The mentality is essentially anyone who is against us is our enemy, and Hubbard created this fair game policy.
It meant to lie, cheat, trick, steal, and otherwise destroy anyone critical of Scientology.
Two of the most incredible targets are the Internal Revenue Service and the Department of Justice in a campaign known as Operation Snow White.
This became Scientology's own Watergate. It was Hubbard's own directive to purge government offices around the world of any incriminating files on either himself or Scientology.
When federal agents discover these black ops, they strike back. And in July 1977, conduct raids against church offices in Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles.
Operation Snow White ended up being a huge legal problem for Scientology. Henchmen were all convicted of theft of government documents. They did jail time, and Hubbard escaped prosecution as an unindicted co-conspirator.
Over the next 2 decades, the church works aggressively to gain followers all around the world. It also launches lawsuits against its critics and even government officials. It pays off in 1993 when the church succeeds in winning back its tax-exempt status.
Giving them tax exemption was to get Scientology off their backs because they were hiring PIs to dig up dirt on the IRS agents. And the IRS agents and the government just said, enough with this. We don't want to be harassed anymore. We don't want to deal with these people anymore.
But church founder L. Ron Hubbard doesn't live to witness this victory. He dies in 1986 after suffering a stroke. Scientology leaders proclaim that Hubbard simply decided to drop his body in order to continue his research on another planet. Today, the Church of Scientology claims it has millions of adherents worldwide. But critics say the controversies surrounding the church are taking their toll.
We're watching the disappearance of a cult, and it won't be long.
Still, with high-profile members giving it a celebrity cachet, the mysteries surrounding one of the world's most secretive religions endure.
It is probably safest to assume that until this is all properly regulated, anyone you see promoting a product is...
And I showed this one. So, I meant to keep it funny. That one was more like just an overview. It was on a show and buildings and stuff. Sorry, my back. But yeah, no, I collected some of these pieces, researching them on what I could find, and then doing a lot of behind the scene work and entering the new database for the map. So yesterday, I was told this wasn't map work, even though, because it's all cards and things, but it's a database. I have to create the pins and everything and then import it. So, but all right, guys, I'm going to go rest my back. Thanks for joining me.